we had the honor and privilege to have Mike Lambresi come into my quarterback mindset group and talk about, the overcoming all of that trauma that he had to his foot. He almost lost his foot. And he came back and said, I'm going to surf again, even if I have to surf with missing a foot. And you're going to hear an incredible story here, a short one. We kept it short because he came into my class to speak to them about the comeback. Like Kirk Cousins came back on that NFL historical day from 0 to winning the championships with 33 some odd points. Mike came back with a journey of pain and suffering and medication and surgeries, and is out in the water today after just a short time. So let's welcome him in and give him a round of applause, and let's have all the cheerleaders say, hey, you did it.
In the back of my head from the minute the accident happened, I didn't think I didn't ever plan on not surfing again.
So you knew that
somehow, some way, I'm going to surf.
You were going to surf. Okay,
yeah.
that's let's pick it up right there then.
Yeah.
So somehow, some way, as horrific as it was, you even thought like maybe if they had to amputate your leg, you'd get a...
Yeah, I'd get a prosthetic, because they
Mm-hmm.
talked about amputating it for the first couple weeks, the second time I was in the hospital, because the infection got so bad.
Now, do you think at any point from the time it happened to today, which is now you're out looking like a pro surfer, I mean, some of the pictures your wife gets, I mean, you're doing some pretty crazy, professional stuff. At any time, did you think that in your brain, was it in your mind that it was pushing you to get here? I mean, let's see if I can make myself clear. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
Did your mind actually do that for you?
Well, you have to make conscious decisions, right? Otherwise, you could just kind of wallow in your misery and feel bad for yourself. And there's setbacks and there's depression involved in all of it, and anxiety and hopelessness. But you just, that's the thing. That's stuff I've always dealt with, though. So that wasn't new, it was just intensified.
Yeah. And if anybody was going to pull this out, if anyone that knows you knows that you would be the one that could probably pull this out.
Well, it's just one of those things where I know how important surfing is in my life for my mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just like, this is going to be a challenge, but I'm going to do it. And so it was mentally no doubt in my mind. So then it was just like, how am I going to do it?
Yeah.
When am I going to do it? What are the steps I have to take? How do I build up to it? Because I'm not going to just go back out in the water and be the surfer I once was.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty truly amazing. And the one thing I wanted to ask is like, so all of us that are looking at you or watching your story, come down on the internet and stuff like that, it really is a pretty huge comeback. I mean, to come back from just, retired surfer guy that gets majorly seriously injured and now is back out in the water doing some incredible stuff. If there's one thing, like, we use the words choices,
mm-hmm.
changes, and commitment. Can you see, let's start with choices. Any choices that you made in this comeback that would be important?
Yeah, well, the first choice was I chose to believe that I could do it. And I chose that I was going to do it. I just decided. I didn't even really have to. I mean, I just knew I was going to.
And so now how did you change it up from there? That's the next thing. What did you have to do to change that kind of thinking?
Well, the thinking was there. So it was holding on to that choice, right? Not letting it go, because
Mm-hmm.
your mind will play with you, and you got to be in charge of your own mind, which is not always easy. But then the changes were gradual at first, because of course I had to go through the healing phases, and I had to be physically capable of surfing, bodyboarding, walking. I mean, heck, I couldn't walk, for a while. So I was in wheelchairs and walkers and stuff. So as that progressed and I was more capable of walking and being mobile, then I started, of course, thinking, okay, so what's the next step to get me surfing? And that was getting some type of protection for the injured heel, because I couldn't put pressure on it. And when you're surfing, there's a lot of pressure going on your heels, especially if you when you lean, because it's toe to heel. Surfing's a lot of heel side and toe side. And when you push really hard, you're on the heel side doing a cutback.
Did you have to change up your surfing at all, like the style and all that?
No.
Oh, you still had the same style?
Yeah, no, I didn't
Just
change
change
that
the equipment that you use.
Yeah, so the surfboard stayed the same. I feel like I'm surfing the same, but I just had to figure out how to get it to where my heel would be protected enough for me to surf. That's been an ongoing challenge.
Yeah.
Still today, that's still a challenge. I'm
Yeah.
still tweaking things and trying to figure out what could be better.
Right.
So that's a work in progress.
And so now, lastly, commitment. What point do you think that commitment came into surfing again?
Well, shoot.
I mean, in the hospital bed, or
well, yeah.
remember?
I mean, it the commitment. I guess there's different phases. In the beginning, I just thought or knew I'm going to surf again, but then I had to actually take steps to do that, and the commitment was there. I had to just constantly just tell myself I'm going to do this. I'm committed to it, and what's it going to take? So if I'm committed to it and I figure out what it's going to take, then it's just a matter of executing all those things. Just like any sport or any activity you do, your mind has to be right. You have to have the mental capacity to focus on what you're going to do, and to slow things down in a way where you can go, okay, I got to do this, that. I mean, here's what it looks like. You're going to know what it looks like. You got to visualize it, and then you just start executing. You start putting things into play that are going to make it happen.
So would you call yourself, I mean, other people are calling it, but would you call yourself like a comeback story?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty significant comeback, considering that the accident, when it happened, it was actually possible that I could have bled out and died right there.
Mm-hmm.
And so once I got past that phase, I could have lost a leg, and then the infection. So
the whole series of comebacks.
Yeah, a whole series of comebacks.
Touchdown after touchdown after touchdown.
Right.
Yeah.
And emotionally, there was times when I didn't know if I'd make it.
There you go.
I didn't think I would, because I was getting pretty down. But that would be something I'd have to work through, and I had my wife had to lean on her a lot during those times, and she did the pushing and the driving and reminding me of what I was going to do and that I was going to be good at it again, and
that's awesome.
helped me keep my head